Thank you, George.
I did not call Jack. I just want to make sure we got a quorum without Sharon. He was last time.
So are we for?
We are
Good.
We're seven. You're 7, 4 is majority. We've got it. All right, just so nobody, it's 9:21 is their call first. And I don't think anybody thinks they need to, so we should do a vote pretty quickly. People are welcome to raise other issues if they've got them, but I haven't heard much, so I think we're probably all fixed.
You had the resolution, I remember.
You've changed accounts, so there's we no longer have White Ostrich. The Board of Trustees gave the land use portfolio back to
Judge Spolzino.
Spolzino's firm.
Yes.
But instead of having associate with no real experience go out to we've got one of these partners who's done an LW jurisdiction. She last time. Let me see.
He was our lawyer in Pelham Manor. But he
I was gonna say, yeah.
did a very good
I didn't
job.
know, is he a judge?
He was
Second department.
I did not know.
He needed, like a lot of judges, when you have kids in college, 150 grand doesn't do anything.
Mhm.
That's that's the thing about those New York judgeships. They're
Yeah,
the federal judges are underpaid, but New York judges really.
yeah, they are really underpaid.
Yeah. And then you try telling that to someone who makes, it's $150,000 and he's moaning about that.
It's a matter of what better
Yep.
private sector salary is.
Right.
You tell somebody who works in the Department of Public Works who is not happy with their salary. Okay, but if you were to jump to the private sector, what does it make?
Right.
Okay, 10% more working for waste management. All right, fair.
Right.
Benefits, benefits better, work conditions are all better in the public sector.
Right.
When you're a judge.
Good luck firing somebody.
Yeah, when you're a judge, jump to the private sector, triple, quadruple, and top of their salary. That's a little different bit of deal.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And besides, state judges are a little different. Federal judges, state judges varies widely. Federal judges, most of them.
Yeah.
It's hard work for.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, what do you think the average time for their bench time is usually before they move out?
That's knowable, but federal judges, I would say the average.
Wow.
They're usually.
Wow.
All right, we are. Oh, there he is. Okay. Hey guys.
Hello.
All right, Brittany, we have everyone we expect.
Yeah.
Sharon advised me earlier today, she is not going to make it due to illness. So we have everyone that we expect, and we should go ahead and go live.
Okay, LMC TV, if they're ready.
I saw a thumb.
Okay.
We're now live, and welcome folks here and folks at home to the December 21st, 2022 holiday edition of the Harbor and Coastal Zone Management Commission for the Village of Mamaroneck. And if you're watching at home, once again, thank you for being interested enough in village affairs to take your time to watch what we do. We have, for the folks here, I think, as you probably all know, we have the exits at either side of the room, and at home, we're available as always on LMC TV. And I think we're still available on Zoom. And if you're hanging on, we have two applicants who are here for consistency review and then a preliminary review. And some of these will get public hearings. So if there are folks who want to comment, we usually expect them to be in person. But if you're at home and trying to reach staff, we'll do what we can to accommodate. I will call first our applicant at 921 Soundview Drive. Good evening.
Good evening, Superintendent. My name is Alan Gross, I work for engineering. Since we last met, our office did perform with regard to stormwater, because that was a principal question. Our office did perform an additional deep hole test located to the east of the proposed pool on the property. And what we found was soil depth that was 5 feet 3 inches with already existing grade. We also found the very typical soils that we've had. The other two deep hole tests that we performed, which is basically sandy loam or sands, is what we found. With that information, because it's a much more level location than the other two that were proposed on the north side and south side of the property, what we did is revise the plans using the same health C4 chambers. And this provides over, well over 3 feet of unsaturated soil from the bottom of the chambers, actually the bottom of the stone, to the bedrock. And with that, we provided the revised plans to public sessions for their review. And we also provided a revised stormwater management or stormwater pollution prevention plan report as well for review. And in reviewing the colored sections memo, which is updated on the 19th, I believe we have addressed the concerns that were raised by them. Hopefully, we've also raised the concerns that were commented upon by the commission.
Okay, and so the thing that I had on my mind to address is the change to the SWIP, and John Kellard, I would love to hear your thoughts.
Yes, good evening. Yeah, we worked through, Alan's worked very hard to revise the stormwater design to combine the two systems into a single system, as he mentioned. He has the adequate soil depth to provide the 3 feet of separation between the treatment system and bedrock. It's located on a much gentler slope, and we feel that they've addressed all our comments.
Okay, this has been before us a few times, and the thing that I know I wanted to talk about, I've heard what I need to hear. At this point, I think, speaking for myself, I think I know what I need to know in order to vote. Randy?
Agree. I'm glad that we're now referencing the right swamp. I think we're good.
Tammy?
I agree.
Jack?
I'm good.
And George?
Yeah, good.
Okay, I think we all think we know what we need. I'm gonna make a motion that we adopt a resolution of clean consistency for this application.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so I've got the roll call tonight.
Can I just say thank you for being so responsive? I'm not sure how many times you've been here because I've only been on the
I
thing.
appreciate it.
Okay, so we've got a unanimous vote for a clean consistency opinion, and I think you are done with us, and you are probably glad of it. Happy holidays.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Okay, I will call next the applicants at 1310 Flagler Drive.
Thanks. Good to see you again. Happy holidays. For the record, Kristen Montel, I'm a partner at the law firm Cuddy and Bader on behalf of the applicants here who are the owners, David and Bonnie Bluestein at 1310 Flagler Drive. David Bluestein is here tonight along with Robert Keller, Keller Eaton Architects, Louis Fusco, the landscape architects on the project, Michael Stein from Hudson Engineering, and Beth Evans. Evans Associates. They are our wetlands consultant. As you're aware, this project is here on consistency from the planning board for a site plan and a wetlands permit. The applicants are proposing to demolish the existing home on the property, which is located in the Edgewater Point community on Long Island Sound. The property is in the VE flood zone, which is something that we are keenly aware of. There's also portions in the AE flood zone and the CHA. And there's no DEC wetlands jurisdiction for the property, but as you know, the village has the 100-foot buffer that runs through the majority of the site as well. And since we were before you last, we provided some amended materials, and I know from watching the work session, the request is to go through the changes, so we're prepared to do that for you tonight. Lewis is gonna walk you through, but just to give you a high-level summary, we are proposing to remove the existing pool, which is almost entirely within the CHA now. So we're gonna remove that entirely outside of the CHA. We're gonna replace it with a smaller pool. So the existing pool is 1,100 square feet. That's going to be replaced with an 800 square foot pool outside of the CHA, like I said. So really the only thing left in the CHA on this property is the existing seawall, and no change is proposed. We're not going to touch the seawall. So that further decreases coverage in the CHA by 149 square feet. There's also existing patio that was associated with that old pool that's getting removed as well outside of the CHA. So the overall coverage is going to decrease to 30% on the site from 57%, which is still less than what's there today. So, and in addition, if that weren't enough, the pool being removed also creates new room for landscaping. So as you saw in your materials, there's a substantial volume of square footage of plantings that's going to be added, 8,787 square feet total. We also removed the bathroom on the first floor that was proposed, and that's a flood zone compliance issue that we looked into. That's been removed. We reviewed the Keller Sessions memo from December 16th. Michael Stein will address that memo, but I believe there's no open issues there. And I'll let Beth speak to the DEC permit. So without further ado, Lewis, if you want to come up and walk through the plans. Thank you.
Are you going to talk about the bathroom?
Robert Keller or I can talk about
Well, I'm not sure anyone's going to talk about the bathroom. Bathroom's out.
I know. I just want to understand why you would do that.
Sure. So there are construction standards, residential construction standards, and this is something, John, I'm sure you can speak to too, for the VE flood zone, which is a high hazard flood area for new construction. We're proposing a new home here. Anything below the base flood elevation is restricted because of the VE flood zone. There's restrictions on what can be done in that space, how it can be finished, and what kind of permit can be there.
Okay, because I thought in your original proposal that you met all those standards.
We realized that there was one minor oversight on our part.
Okay.
And thank you for bringing that up.
Good evening, Louis Fusco, landscape architect. I first want to pass out. Didn't have a chance to submit it in at the time of the plan, but we do have some renderings now of the landscape and the pool. So And I'll go over some of the general changes
Thank you.
based on what has mentioned also, the plan that we showed last week. We got it on the screen, or I have it here as well.
What page is it?
It's the Louis Fusco landscape architect drawings.
That's tree protection. It's not that, is it?
That's it there. Yeah. Okay, as Kristen mentioned, we have decreased the overall lot coverage from an original 19,700 to 10,000, increase of 9,300. I mean, a decrease to 30% coverage. The plan that I showed last week was actually up a bit closer to 35%. We reduced the emission by 5%. Primarily with the change in the driveways, you can see up on the plan right now, the driveway is all the way to the right of the side with the guest parking in the front. The previous plan had it coming centered onto the house and looping over, using up a lot more coverage in that area. We reduced, the pool has been reduced to a standard 10 by 40 from the larger 1,100 square foot pool. Our decrease in coverage in the wetland setback, we've decreased it by approximately 50%, decreased of an addition of 7,812 square feet from the original 15,700 square feet. And we had a reduction, as Kristen also had mentioned, in the CHA line. We now are remaining nothing but the 372 feet that is the existing seawall. So previously the pool was portion of the existing, was also the CHA as well as the hardscape associated with that. We're removing a total of 6 trees on the property. That hasn't changed from the last plan. And planting wise, we're required to add an additional 6 trees, of which we have added a total of 21 trees of 2.5-inch caliber and higher deciduous, as well as 24 evergreen trees. So it's a substantial increase in the plantings. In addition, the 8,700 square feet of planting, buffer plantings and mitigation plantings, they totally in a native plant palette, being that the majority of the property is in wetlands, and with the salt impacts, we've tried to stay within that and to benefit the whole overall property. Any other questions on the landscape at this time?
Thank you. I know that I do not have questions for the landscape architect, but I'm going to hand it over to any commissioner who does. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good evening, Beth Evans, Evans Associates, as Kristen mentioned. We were hopeful that we would have the DEC permit in hand tonight. We got the notice of complete application on October 20th. It was published. I contacted the analyst who working with us on this project and received an email from her on Monday stating, I apologize for the delay. No comments were received during the public comment period, and the department is ready to issue the permit. I'll try to get the permit prepared and sent out soon. Would love to have the permit in hand, but can't really wasn't a factor. I will say that permit that she was preparing is based on the original plan. So this does give me an opportunity to make contact with her and give her the new numbers, which reduce the impervious area in both in the village wetland setback, but also takes everything out of the sea.
Okay, that's helpful to know. Typically, I'm mostly saying this for other applicants and the folks at home because you've been in front of this commission enough to know this. Because changes required by other permitting authorities, might change the application and cause us to consider something differently. We are really loath to vote something when if there's an outstanding permit. The circumstances under which we will do that typically have been when it's really binary and we can say, assuming nothing changes, those are usually fairly narrow. We did it most recently at 120 Osborne with a road cut, because a road cut is binary. Either they let you do it there or they make you move it. I got to think about that. Other than that, typically I'm loaded with fair number of environmental questions, but here I think we've been through this with some care, and it came in as a very complete application. I think, speaking for myself, I have my hands around the environmental effect, the change to the, and we've read your report. The removal of all the impervious surface and stuff doesn't seem to raise concerns. We have a property that fronts to a seawall and beach and ocean environment that it just isn't very sensitive. The flow of water is going to be slower over that area now because of the lack of impervious surface. Doesn't raise any erosion concerns. I think I have my hands around it, and I find myself without a lot of questions for you, maybe for the first time that you've been in front of me.
I'm not disappointed.
You'll get over it. Do other commissioners have questions for the environmental consultant?
Yeah, they seem to be improving this one every time you come here, so it's quite tempting. Now, kidding aside, I'm pretty happy with it.
Okay.
So what'd you decide? I apologize, but I'm just curious. You decided to go all grass from the seawall?
No, there will be native plantings replacing the impervious area there. And the pool itself has been pulled back substantially. There was a patio around it.
No, I remember well. That's why my definition of, I apologize, of grass is the native plantings. Yes,
Oh, okay.
It's here and it looks really nice. I just didn't know if there was anything else you were going to do.
The native plantings, as from my perspective, are much better because they don't need to be maintained and fertilized and replaced every time there's a moisture that comes through and blows salt on it. So
Got it.
I think they're grasses versus grass.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I,
Of course,
thank
if it
you.
was the sort of thing
It's like-
that required regular, fertilization and stuff, we would probably have questions about maintenance agreement and the effect on the shoreline environment. But we don't, because it's been designed to have, essentially no impacts.
our version is to have clients who embrace the native plantings.
Yeah, sometimes we get applications that raise a lot of issues that we have to work through very slowly. And sometimes we get applications that address all the issues very upfront. The advantage of that is that we have a lot fewer questions. Okay, thank you. I know we've got Michael Stein about to come up to address the removal of the bathroom and some other stuff. No.
Good evening, Michael Stein with Hudson Engineering. One of the, we've worked through with Mr. Keller's office to address all his outstanding comments. There's one, I guess, clarification or update to the stormwater report that he was requesting, and that is the soil type that is present on the site compared to what it says from the National Soil Survey. He's asking that we modify our analysis to be A soils where we're listing D, which is what is actually was listed on the mapping, and partly because we have very quick percolating soils. Overall, it still will make a difference because we have such a dramatic decrease. I think we're decreases 9,450 roughly square feet of impervious area, and of the new impervious area going in, we have about 4,600 square feet that's being directed to infiltration systems. So the numbers right now, we have a reduction listing D soils, and using D soils is usually more of a conservative number, but we're going from 3.37 CFS to 2.18 CFS. Being that they're gonna be sandier soils, both numbers are basically gonna drop to that same type of ratio. So again, we're happy to make the update and to address the comment, but we had submitted the pre and post analysis that he had requested. So it's really a very minor change.
And I mean, John, I think I know what I'm hearing, but are you hearing that the way I am? We have a non-issue there?
Non-issue. We just asked the report be updated before the final version. But it's clear that the discharge from the property is being decreased by 31%. The floodplain's volume on the property is being increased by 17%. As we all know, impervious surfaces are being reduced by 50%, and all living spaces below the base flood elevation have been removed. So I think it's a good, solid project. They did a very nice job designing it.
Okay, we have not yet held a public hearing on this. I didn't mean to cut you off, but it seemed like that was your issue and you're all set. Do any of the other commissioners have questions for Mr. Stein?
No, I'm okay.
Okay, then I think unless Ms. Motel feels like she's got to get something else on the record before we go to the public hearing, I think we can take any public comments on that. So I'll move to open the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, public hearing. If anyone wants to be heard, I don't see anyone in the courtroom. If anyone is on Zoom or trying to reach the staff, we will try to accommodate you. Though we have gone back as far as possible to a traditional in-person model, and we're really supposed to be taking public comment from the room. If you can't make it for some reason and you're trying to call in, we'll try to accommodate that. I'm going to hold the public hearing open in case we get somebody. All right, so where I think that leaves us is, well, let me just make sure we've asked about each of the consultants, but does anybody else on the commission have further questions for the applicant right now?
No.
We're obviously, though this is only the second time before the commission, obviously this is we're fairly far down the road in considering this. On the other hand, as you know, we really are loath to vote something as a conditional and have it come back to us because of a change that's been made. We all have probably, disturbing memories of applications that had to have significant changes because of another permitting authority. And then we had to sort of start over again. We tend to avoid having that happen. On the other hand, you've got a good, careful, well-prepared application team here. I also don't want to make you bring a whole lot of these people back because they get paid for being here. But I think what I have to do with this is to tell you to come back when you have a DEC permit. We don't sandbag. We tell you what our concerns are. We are not holding this open for any questions that we have. We don't have live concerns. I think we all think that we have enough to vote it, except if DEC makes you change something. If this is the same application with a DEC permit, I think we are where we are now, and we really don't have live concern. If it changes, obviously, you'll probably need to bring an applicant team member or two back to address any changes that you have to make to satisfy the state. If you don't, and you're back with the same application you have now and you have your DEC permit in hand, I don't think we will have any questions for your applicant team, and I don't think that you need to bring.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would just like to highlight that our clients are residential property owners. They're not developers. They're here, they like you recognize, and thank you for recognizing the cost of bringing an entire team to these hearings. They would, in the interest of time, because time is a significant expense to them. They would try to get back before the planning board prior to the next harbor coastal meeting. And if we, that submission deadline would be the middle of next week. So if we were to have a DEC permit, we'd like to proceed to the planning board. If not, we would know and return here. So I mean, I would like to ask for conditional approval. I think the way the timeframes work out, it would benefit our applicant. I understand your concern.
I have a comment. If the condition is that there are 0 changes, what's the harm in that?
It's not,
And
it's not
that
a rule,
puts
it's
an
not a
obvious-
policy, it's not an LWRP policy, it's not a rule, it's not a part of the open meetings law, it's merely an operating procedure. We can override it. We've simply been loath to do that in case it comes back. I've never said absolutely no to that one. It's just been a practice that other permitting authorities may make. If the commissioners are comfortable.
Yeah,
I'm
based
not standing
on the very high quality of this presentation and based on the representation about the conversation with the state, I personally would be comfortable, and obviously it's black and white. If you don't get it, if there's an iota of change, you have to come back. But it sounds like it is based on what you have heard, it is highly likely that you'll get the approval based on the current record. And I personally am not as experienced as our distinguished chairman, but I'm having trouble personally seeing why that's a problem in this case.
Well, these are really commission decisions. I want to first make sure that our council is comfortable. We've got land use council on the line. We have in the past occasionally done a resolution with a condition, the condition being that there are no changes to the application before us necessitated by the permits. It sounds like I'm hearing some groundswell of that from the other commissioners. If we are intent on doing it that way, does that pose any problem for the resolution or in council's opinion for the legality of proceeding in that fashion?
It does not, but another suggestion is that you could require they come back if there are changes to the drawings.
Well, right, I said that, but
Oh, sorry.
if we're gonna do it that way, they know they gotta, come back. The way to do it so that they don't have to come back is to make it conditional on no changes.
Chair, if I may, it's Brittany. Just timing wise, and just for everyone to be advised, the next planning board meeting is the 11th. We'd need documents obviously for Flagler by the 28th of December. That would mean I'd need the resolution turned around by the 28th. So that would also just fall on, whoever's hands to turn it around and get it. As long as we can do that, then it would be realistic that they get on the next planning board meeting.
That means you would be bugging me to sign it and scan it back very fast.
And
That way I will undertake to do it. So I know we've got one commissioner on board. George, would you be okay with voting it as a conditional?
Yes.
Jack, would you be comfortable with voting?
Yeah,
it
I'll
conditional?
try it. This seems like a good
Yeah.
trial.
I'm not going to stand in people's way on that. So we have a 5 commissioner vote to do this as procedurally to do this as a conditional, and the condition will be that no change to the application is made in the process of securing any other permit. With that condition on the resolution, I will make a motion that we find this application consistent.
Second.
All in favor? We should roll call this. Randy?
Aye.
Tammy?
Hi.
Jack?
Aye.
And George. Okay, we are unanimous with a condition that it not have to be changed for another permit.
Thank you very much for your understanding.
Good luck and happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Good job, Counselor.
Thomas, just to bring to your attention too, for 561 Lawn Terrace, they are not a public hearing yet. We were going to set that for the next meeting, so I'll be getting that information out to them within the next couple of days.
Yeah, when I said there'd be a public hearing, I really meant for, I really meant
Flagler, okay.
Flagler.
I didn't send that yet.
We had had the discussion about whether it was possible to public hearing Lawn Terrace and realized that it was not. They're here for preliminary, so it's too early to public hearing them anyway, really.
Okay.
Okay, now I'm not seeing our applicant in the room for Lawn Terrace. Huh.
That's not good.
Well, most traditional have an applicant. Well, we don't hear applications without applicants. That's a bit of a miscue. I wonder if somehow they understood from the changes to the public hearing that they didn't have to show up for
I
preliminary.
don't think so. I've been in constant contact, or at least I thought. I haven't even received any emails or anything.
It is really hard for them to present to us if they're not here, and there are actually harbor management plan policies that we should discuss. We have made sure that our distinguished harbor master is here with us to help explain this application to us. And so, as not to waste the harbor master's valuable time, we might as well sort of identify the live issues and talk about this application to the extent we can. But we're going to proceed in a work session like fashion with this applicant because they're not actually here to do their presentation for preliminary. Harbor Master LaRusso, how are you tonight?
Good, how are you? Good evening, everyone.
Hi. Good evening.
So in reviewing all the applications and the plans, there's two things that jump out at me. First, on the short environmental assessment form, and also a couple of the Department of State and Army Corps permits. The aluminum ramp on the permit is listed as 35 feet. And on the drawings, it's listed as 38 feet. So that's the first thing. And also, I would like to not see this dock stick out this far into the fairway. That's a pretty narrow fairway, and there's also a mooring field there. So if somebody does miss a mooring and needs to maneuver a boat, they don't have a lot of space there to begin with.
That is okay. Because I wanted to talk about that. We don't. It's not all that often that we go through our marine structures, our harbor management policies, but we have policies just like the LWRP does, and they include in policy 2 safe navigation and mooring, which is obvious principal concern, and 6 utilization of our harbor space by and I'm saying this because obviously this, but for the applicants, for future applicants, for the folks at home who are supposed to be able to understand how we make our decisions. Policy 6 in our harbor management plan says that we're supposed to make sure that the usage does not impede the utilization by other users, both on the water and upland property owners. It seems to me that safe navigation around the mooring fields and past this dock poses both issues. But it was not clear to me from the plan that it sticks out farther than some of the other surrounding docks. Am I missing that? Is it sticking out farther, or is it just sort of getting crowded?
The plan that I'm looking at, if you looked at the proposed general plane view diagram, that's the one that I'm looking at.
Let me just navigate to that quickly.
Let me see if you can pull it up.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I thought that was off. physically, the plan.
Is it on this? No.
Yeah, on that diagram. So if you, I mean, by this drawing, if you look at that dock, it's, you see the other two docks have that inside line. So
Oh,
it's
yep.
sticking out about 8 feet approximately. I don't know if that's exact. But then when if you tie a 26-foot boat to that boat's gonna have another 8 or 9 foot beam. So that's another 8 or 9 feet it's sticking out.
Pretty
So,
significant.
are the surrounding docks using the seaward side as their mooring, or are they like mooring to the side of the dock or doing something that sticks out less far?
A couple of them are on piles, and one of them, the one to the west, is on moorings. You know, it's on mushroom anchors. And I believe the one, excuse me, the one to the east is on piles.
Okay, but that's not what I really meant to ask you. Are they are the surrounding docks mooring their boats on the seaward side?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So it's really about an 8-foot difference.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna. How do you go about assessing whether that 8 feet causes this dock plan to not present a safe navigation
I
condition?
mean, by this drawing, it looks like that there would only be about 7 feet between the federal anchorage line, you know, the federal, where the mooring field is, and that boat. So we try to keep it at least, you know, 15 to 20. Which 20 feet is going to be hard to do inside here because it's narrow. So I would like to see at least 15 there.
Okay, that's important information. I know there are other things that I wanted to speak to the applicant about, and they're of course not here to do their preliminary presentation. But I wanted to ask the applicant about the height of the piles, and whether it's necessary, because in the past we've tried to reduce the appearance. But I can ask you, what we really try to do with our view shed concerns is just make sure we don't sit as the style council. We're not artists, we're not architects.
Right.
But we try to make sure that the size and scale of things is in keeping with the appearance we expect and not a radical change. Are the proposed piles taller than what's around it?
No, there are properties on the other side that have about the same size piles.
That's very helpful to know. Thank you. And the last thing I wanted to ask you about that I know I wanted to ask about is several of our harbor policies require that the design and construction of a marine structure be such that it's not going to fall apart, that it's not going to become a maintenance issue in the foreseeable future, and that it's not going to become a safety issue in the foreseeable future. Now, that's probably less of a concern because they also have to get they have gotten or have to get other permits. But I wanted to ask your view. Is it design? Is the design and proposed construction consistent with policies?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Their cross section of the dock that they show is standard to, you know, the way we build docks for our marina.
Okay. So what I'm hearing really is that the major issue here is that sticking out that far into the water provides about 7 feet of space to the federal anchorage line, and you typically require 20 and think that we need at least 15.
At least 15. It's going to be hard for them to give us the 20 feet there because it is so narrow. You know, then what I'm also worried about is if this one passes and goes through, then other people want to do it on the other side and they want to come out. It'll really get cramped, and you know, it's going to start an issue.
Yeah, and a boat hitting another boat is absolutely a safety issue. And our harbor management policies are very clear, and several policies require that we maintain safety around navigation, mooring, and storage.
Right.
So those are very serious concerns that we're going to have to talk through with the applicant when they appear in front of us. If there's, but we've got, oh, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I'm sorry, and then just, if you wanted to just go back and look at all the stuff that they submitted from the Department of State and Army Corps of Engineers, where it's listed on their permit as 35-foot gangway, so it's probably gonna have to be changed.
Right. Okay, now I know that's what I wanted to talk with the harbor master about, but we got him. So I'm just gonna sort of go from our right to left. Randy?
Anything else we need to be thinking about?
I was gonna say.
No, that's about it for this one.
Okay.
Kimmy?
No, that's it.
Jack?
Oh, good.
George?
Yeah, it's one of those cases that because we haven't seen, so many times, and it's kind of new to me. Yes, we've seen floating pontoons. Yes, we've all been around. That's why I thank you for the question, because we rely a lot on Jeff and on his experience and knowledge on that one to be asking the right questions. But for me, the key thing is we'll need to be asking the applicant, at least I will be asking the applicant a lot more information about the construction, the plans, the impact this one might have, the impact to the neighbors, the impact to the environment, the impact to the ongoing traffic, and also who's going to be undertaking that work, the qualifications of those people, to make sure that whatever is happening according to, with safety in mind, really.
Yeah, and I didn't mention, but it's avoiding pollution to the harbor is its own policy, policy 5 in our harbor management plan, and that's really an issue of how the work gets done so that we avoid any unwanted discharge. And we will have to ask the applicant about that when they appear in front of us, which we thought was going to be tonight for preliminary to discuss these issues. You never know what happens. It could be that something unavoidable has happened, has kept them away from the meeting, and if so, we'll be understanding. But that is, I think, as far as we can take this discussion tonight, since we've called them and they're not here, we have to put them on for preliminary review again once they recontact the office. So Brittany, let us know when they have told the office, what happened and where they're at, and we will put them on for another preliminary review. There's no rule that we can't conduct a public hearing at the time of preliminary. So if they can get their signs up and get their notice requirements met, then we can do that at the same. But we can't.
So I sent an email to them now. So if they get back to me, it would still be okay to proceed with the next meeting as a public hearing, but they'll still obviously need to do their presentation and may need to come back in February anyway for more items. Okay. All right. I will speak with them.
Okay. And the last thing that we had is the progress on the dredging, the dredging application. And we discussed this at the work session, but I think probably a lot fewer of our concerned citizens watch the work session than watch the meeting. So it might be useful to folks in the village to just get a quick update on this. And the Department of State letter is as of today on the agenda, so that any folks at home who want to read the whole thing for themselves, this is the December 9 letter, and it's not to us, it's to the consultants for the Board of Trustees. They can read it for themselves. To remind people about the procedural posture of this, the Board of Trustees applied for a permit to dredge. And it was fairly open-ended in terms of describing only the general sections of the river and general methods of work. They came to us only for advisory consistency because the Board of Trustees by statute does its own village consistency determination. However, because LWRPs are pursuant to a federal statute with devolved state and local powers, the state also considers consistency independently and essentially applies what the village does with its consistency determinations at the state level, like we do it usually with our advice. So we advise the Board of Trustees, and then the state assesses independently, and they can give feedback to the village and require more information. They have done that. They've taken a look at the application for a permit, and we sent a letter advising the Board of Trustees about sort of things we would ask if it came in front of us. We have now received a copy of a letter that the consultants for the Board of Trustees got from the state, and they have asked for additional information. And I will summarize what they've asked for. They said they want more detail and a robust statement of the purpose of and need for the activity, that is the dredging at these particular locations. They've asked how the Board of Trustees determined that the dredging would affect floodwater levels and the risk to the adjacent communities. And with that, they want flow calculations, pre and post dredge, and model results and information of that kind. They have asked for more information about how the particular locations were determined. They want and that there be no measurable increase in erosion or flooding at other locations. They have noted that these parts of the river have bulkheads, have parking lots, have bridges, and they have some homes that are very close to the river. And they want further information on how the proposed dredging will affect those infrastructure types. They've asked for, the state has asked for cross-section drawings of each of the selected dredging locations with dimensions and existing and proposed sediment depths. They have asked for bathymetry and current conditions in dredging areas and detailed calculations of total dredge volume quantity. The state has asked for more information concerning the on-land stockpile locations, including their dimensions, the quantity of sediment they could hold, and distance to the waterway, and how the spoil will be dewatered. So, for example, you dredge a whole bunch of sediment out of the river, it then drains a lot of water out of the stockpile. What happens to that water? The state has asked for they've noted that they previously issued a notice of incomplete application, and they said that many of the areas proposed for dredging were not on village property, and they want to know who the abutting property owners, both upland and underwater, are, and to make sure that permission has been duly sought and granted for dredging on property that doesn't belong to the village. The state has noted the Army Corps of Engineers has a preformed flood management risk project, the Army, what we have been calling the Army Corps of Engineers project, and they want to know how the Army Corps of Engineers will interact with the proposal to dredge, and see any analysis that's gone into that. And finally, they have noted that they've received an update that the dredging project is no longer proposing to affect the Beaver Swamp Brook work area. And they want confirmation of that, because at least that modification of the proposal takes that one area out of play. They've noted policies 13, 14, 15, 35, and 44 with at least largely overlaps with what I identified to the Board of Trustees as areas that we would have concerns about if it came before us as a private application. And if the Board of Trustees would like to talk through with us how we think about any of these policies or about any of the issues that the state has raised, we're happy to do that. If they want to work through it with their consultant and respond to what the state has asked for, that's they're welcome to do that too. We stand ready to be of assistance to them in any way that would be useful. It seems that the state is going to require a much more complete plan. We had previously said that so far it's an application for a permit from the state, that if we're an applicant before us, we would want to see something much more complete and developed before we voted consistency. But if the state will give them the permit, it's really between them and the state. At this point, the state is saying that they want a much more developed consistency record before they issue the permit. So the complete application is going to have to be much more developed before the state will grant it. It appears to me on my reading this letter. If there's any way that we can be useful to the Board of Trustees in shaping that application so they can get what they've asked for, we will happily do that. Any other comments from the commission on the dredging project? Okay, so that concludes our report on the dredging project. We've been through our two consistency reviews, our preliminary review, and our administrative items. I don't have any other business for tonight unless somebody else has something else. We can all end this holiday edition of our Harbor Coastal meeting and have a happy holiday. Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Yep. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you. You can tease Brittany, but she doesn't change it. She's going to keep repeating that.
Well, probably right, but also oddly.
That's why I circled it. It's an
Brittany, if
unusually.
you're still on.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Administrative item number 5, using it as dreading instead of dredging, which we're.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Given-
That is hysterical.
Yeah.
I'm dreading this application now.
Right.
You know, it's so funny. It always switches back to that. All right, we'll have to fix that.
We're good. We're out. Thank you.
At least it wasn't. Okay, I received an email back from the gentleman. There seems to have been confusion on whether or not he was supposed to have come, so.
Yep. It was.
Happy holidays, everybody.
It's not terribly surprising that, they were so sort of into the idea of, well, when do we do the public hearing?
Yeah.
I think they didn't get, but the process is, there's a preliminary review, you show up,
Right.
talk to the commission, you explain your project. And then, you address any concerns and come back. It's all, with very few exceptions, it's always 2 touches. With the best prepared applicants, it's only 2 touches, and I would prefer that be all of them.
Right.
May they all be super prepared, and then we have no concern, but not always. All right, thank you very much, Brittany.
Thank you. I'll be in touch with him. I'm gonna let him know that he can watch the video, hear some comments, and then be prepared for the next one.
Ready to chop that thing
Okay,
down a little bit.
thanks.
Yeah,
Thank
right.
you.
Exactly. Oh.
3 applicants, 2 votes, and an administrative.